Welcome to the Connecting with Care podcast, where we believe in valuing humanity, engaging spirituality, and promoting equity through our teaching, research, and service. I'm Curtis Isozaki.
And I'm Zach Winterrowd. Today, we're honored to have Dr. Holly Oxhandler, Associate Dean for Research at the Garland School of Social Work, join us to discuss the intersection of faith and mental health, the power of research, and how students can engage in meaningful scholarship.
Dr. Oxhandler shares insight from her research, her book, The Soul of a Helper, and how faculty-led projects at GSSW are shaping the future of social work.
She also gives great advice for students considering social work and emphasizes the importance of self-care in both professional practice and personal life. Let's dive in.
Hello, Dr. Holly Oxhandler. Thank you so much for taking the time to be on the Garland School of Social Work podcast. How's everything going?
Hey, Curtis. Everything is going well. It is so good to see you. It's good to chat with you, and I'm honored to get to be here with you today. Thanks for having me.
Fantastic. Well, we're really excited that you're willing to be able to share a little bit about what research looks like here at the Diana R. Garland School of Social Work at Baylor University and its influence on social work education. And I can't wait to hear about all the faculty-led research projects that are really shaping the field of social work. I know that there are important topics near and dear to our heart as it relates to this profession. And I'm excited to dive into them. But before we do so, would you be able to introduce yourself, and we'll from there jump into some rapid fire questions?
Yeah, that sounds great. As you mentioned, my name's Dr. Holly Oxhandler. I serve as our Associate Dean for Research here in the Garland School of Social Work. I have been on faculty since 2014 and stepped in as Associate Dean in the fall of 2017, I believe. So not too long after joining the school. But I study the intersection of faith and mental health and the degree to which clients want to talk about their faith as it relates to their mental health treatment. I study the degree to which we are training and equipping mental health care providers in social work, psychology, marriage and family therapy, and counseling when it comes to training them to talk about their clients' religion or spirituality, whatever it is they believe in. And I have some other niche areas that I'm interested in, especially around the area of self-care and ensuring that social workers especially are taking really good care of themselves as they serve others. So those are a few little things about me. My husband and I been married since 2012. Just kidding, 2011. And we have two kiddos who are both younger, and we love being in Waco. We're really, really thankful to be here and to be connected with Baylor.
And since you're introducing yourself, you have to tell us about your book, The Soul of the Helper.
Oh, well, thank you. Yes, thank you for asking about that. So had this book come out in just a couple of years ago, but the title is The Soul of the Helper, 7 Stages to Seeing the Sacred Within Yourself so you can see it in others. And it is really this outpouring of the research that I've done over the years in recognition that this research is not just for mental health care providers, but it is for everyday helpers. So teachers and therapists and faith leaders, volunteers, anyone who is serving others in some capacity. This book is this deep recognition that we've got to be paying close attention to what is happening within us, within our own inner landscape as we go out and serve others. And so just a little bit of that, but it does talk about the research that I've done. And then transparently, at Baylor, I know we talk about transformational education, but the reality is our research transforms us too. And so that really is what happened for me, that as I did more of this research on faith and mental health, I got to a point at which I was like, I can't just keep looking at the data. I have to like embody it and live into this and then write from that lived experience. So that really is where that book kind of came from. So thanks for asking about it.
That's incredible. I'm excited for students getting the opportunity to get to know you throughout their time here at the Garland School. And so diving into some rapid fire question, what is one word to describe where you're currently living in Waco?
Well, the first word that comes to mind is just home. I love the home that I have. My husband and I have cultivated with our kids. It is very calming, relaxing. It is a safe space. Those who read the book will recognize that has not always been a part of my journey. But I'm very, very thankful for the hominess that we have here. And we live out in the Woodway area, but home is the word that I lean on.
Amazing. I love that. And then here in Waco, what is your go-to order at your favorite coffee shop?
So my favorite coffee shop is Starbucks. And that is because I worked at Starbucks for 5 years during my undergrad years. And I actually don't drink coffee. And I haven't for about 6 or 7 months now. But so the honey citrus mint tea that Starbucks has, that is my go-to. It is my favorite drink.
Awesome. And then you and I share a similar love for our work bags, our nomadic bags, shameless plug. Yes. What is the most practical item that you have in your work bag?
Yeah, I would say besides my computer, which is kind of feels like that's the catch-all, it's my paper planner. I absolutely live by my paper planner. So I use passion planners, and I love everything that the company stands for and what they advocate for. And I have to have it. It's how I survive with all of the different hats that I juggle. So
yeah. Love a good planner. Yeah. So without any further ado, diving into some questions, we've been asking everyone on the podcast this question. How have you seen the Garland School of Social Work prepare social workers for worldwide service and leadership?
Yeah, this is an amazing question. And I love that you're asking everyone, because I can't wait to listen to what all my colleagues have to say with this question. I would say in particular that I have watched in awe of the ways that my colleagues are wholeheartedly serving, caring for, equipping, empowering our students for the work that our students are called, equipped and wired to do. So whether that is continuing to work in Waco or across Texas or across the country or around the world, like I have been in awe of the ways that I am watching my colleagues equip our students how to be critically appraising research that's available, how to be evaluating a practice, how to have the skills that they need to work with individuals and families and communities in all of the diverse settings that they are serving their clients or communities. And I think the thing that is most important about what I've noticed within the Garland School is that there is this holistic attention to the social worker and making sure that they are, again, caring for themselves well as they go out and serve others, so that they can practice with a sense of humility and with integrity and with competence, and so many of the things that we value within the social work profession, but also within the Garland School of Social Work.
Amazing. And with that being said, how does research at GSSW shape the field of social work and influence professional practices in our field?
Yeah, I'm so proud of the research that we're doing here in the school. So the research that's happening within the Garland School of Social Work is cutting edge. It is innovative. It is tackling complex and big and difficult issues and struggles with creative approaches in which we engage in working with other disciplines through interdisciplinary research. We are trying to pay attention to what is the most current best practices when it comes to research, but also social work practice. And again, it is coming out of this place of this desire to serve. Like our faculty, the work that they do with their research, it is not ego-driven research. It is not look at the work that I'm doing and focus on me. It is from this posture of service and this desire to help and serve others. And research, I mean, I really do believe that research is it is another social work skill. Just like we teach our students about cognitive behavioral therapy or EMDR or different community engagement practices. Research is another skill set by which we can serve individuals and families and communities. And so we see research from our school that is helping kids within school systems. We've seen our research helping folks who struggle with addiction. We've seen our research helping folks who are wanting to work in congregation settings and work with communities within congregations, with birth mothers. And I mean, there's such a wide variety of research topics, and it's remarkable to see it actually having an impact within the community and profession.
So here in the Diana R. Garland School of Social Work at Baylor, with the designation of a Carnegie One Research One institution, as you mentioned, research is so important to us, and it pairs so deeply with our level of academic excellence. But as someone who works here, that we pride ourselves in our school to be incredibly high touch in working with students, and students being able to work with faculty and various faculty-led research projects. And so with that being said, what role do faculty-led projects play in addressing critical issues like mental health, child welfare, or trauma-informed care?
Yeah. Well, first, I love that you elevated the role in which students have a role in faculty projects. Like, I love whenever our faculty are able to write in a student research assistant position, or when they get to mentor students with research projects. Like, that was how I fell in love with research and opened my door to learn more about research. And so any which way we can bring students on board, I love that, welcome that, celebrate that, and continue to encourage that. To your question around, and I would say that it's kind of across the board. We have some undergrad students engaged in research, but mostly at the master's and Ph.D. level is where we see that student involvement. So with regard to like what role do faculty-led research projects play in addressing these critical issues? I mean, again, we are seeing, I'm thinking about like Carrie Arroyo's work with the BEAR Project and how we have students, MSW students right now, who are being trained to work within school systems to best help and equip and work alongside students and teachers in terms of it being trauma-informed care, and making sure that teachers are equipped to be sensitive to the trauma that many students are carrying as they're going through their days within the school systems. I think about Dr. Becky Scott's research with integrated behavioral health, and like, how do we ensure that primary care providers have access to a social worker who can assess for and treat and walk alongside patients who may be coming in with physical ailments, but really it's an emotional or trauma related struggle that's underneath what's going on. And then with child welfare, especially, I think of Dr. Lisa Madden and her work with the child welfare system, and in particular with birth mothers and adoption caseworkers. She's done a remarkable job equipping and empowering master students and doctoral students in this area, and giving them the skills and tools that they need to be leaders in this area. I know I can speak specifically from my area of research where Dr. Clay Polson and I had worked on a 3-year project funded by the Templeton Foundation, making sure that we were able, what we did was we assessed faculty views and behaviors around training students to ethically integrate their clients' spirituality into mental health treatment. So doing that survey work gave us a snapshot to see like what are educators in psychology, counseling, marriage and family therapy, and social work, like what are they doing to equip these students who are going to be working with clients? How are they making sure that clients' religion and spirituality is an included part of their culture so that it is woven in to their treatment plan? Because we know that clients often want to talk about it and they want the provider to be the one to bring it up. So we wanted to get a sense of like what's happening more at the macro level in terms of educators equipping their students in this area. So this is rolled out to include training programs across each of these projects that I'm talking about. You know, there are training programs that are being done. There are several manuscripts being written, workshops. You know, I was up at Brigham Young in the late fall to talk about this, and I will get asked to speak at many different universities to talk about like how do we pay attention to spirituality in mental health training. So it's really neat to see like the tangible impact it's having with these educators, with practitioners, with clients. You know, again, this work, we do it in the Garland School, not just so that we, you know, have these manuscripts published and that's it, but like, how do we actually get it to the people who we are seeking to serve? How do we translate this research in a way that actually helps those who we're seeking to serve? So anyways, so those are probably a little bit of a long-winded answer to your question, but hopefully that helps a little bit.
That's wonderful. Can you provide an example of a specific research project that has had a tangible impact on the field of social work or its community?
Yeah. So, I mean, the one, again, that Dr. Polson and I just did, surveying these educators, it's amazing the number of emails that I got from faculty just doing that survey where they were like, I never even thought about teaching my students about this topic because I never took a class on it. And I certainly never was equipped in how do I teach students about it. So that self-reflection then has that impact, you know, not only with the academic community, but then as they continue to go out and teach their students. I also, going back to Carrie Arroyo's project with the Bear Project, and seeing the ways that the funding from the Department of Education is not only equipping and supporting our MSW students through these internship opportunities, but also it's ensuring these students, like our master's students, are then working so closely alongside students within Waco ISD and surrounding school districts to for them to get some of the care that they may not otherwise receive. So, and again, it's immediate impact, but then as we write up the results of our research, it's remarkable to see the ways that our research is then inspiring others' work outside of social work or within social work in other settings, for them to adopt things that we are learning from our research into their settings. So
that is just so vast and so impactful. As you've kind of alluded to, if we can kind of go a little bit deeper, how does the Garland School of Social Work integrate research opportunities for students, and what benefits do they gain from these experiences?
Yeah, I love that question. I mean, again, it is by having remarkable mentors who opened the door and empowered me to be a part of research that invited me to see the possibilities. And so again, I and so many of our faculty here at the Garland School create those open doors and opportunities for our students, whether that's through research assistant opportunities, whether that's through mentoring opportunities where our students are matched to be mentored by a faculty member. And sometimes those can grow into research opportunities. Sometimes they're just, hey, tell me more about the work that you do as I think about what I want to do post MSW or post BSW but those mentoring opportunities are really important. And then certainly our PhD program, that is really where the heart of research opportunities, I feel like are created for our students. And so we have our doctoral students they have mentors through their PhD program. They have a chair and committee members for their dissertation. They also have opportunities to work alongside with a small stipend that they can apply for to work alongside a faculty member's research. And then there are certainly opportunities in which students can do electives or classes where they are kind of doing an independent study that's related to research. We see those as well. So again, I really see research, I don't think folks always think of it this way, but there is so much creativity in research, and that extends to the opportunities with which students can engage in research. So there are so many unique opportunities that students can learn from. And the one thing I would say, just to add to that, is if there is anyone who is considering our program or currently enrolled in our program who is even remotely thinking maybe research one day, I really, really want to encourage you to use this time during your program at the GSSW to seize these opportunities to learn from faculty and to fumble through the learning process around research. This is the time for you to learn. And so I would really want to encourage and empower folks to do that.
So as we kind of conclude, I'm reflecting on so many different PhD students who have applied to be PhD students here at the Garland School, as well as MSW students and BSW students that we just received their application from. As you reflect on these different students, what advice would you give prospective students exploring their career in social work and research in social work practice at the Garland School?
Well, first, I would just extend my deepest gratitude for these prospective students and current students for their interest in the Garland School. I love being a part of this community. And it is very special in a way that I have not seen in any other school of social work that I have interacted with, that I have colleagues who are on faculty at. There is something very special about this school that I really want to start with a deep gratitude for those who are interested in our program. I think the advice that I would give is one, that certainly the more you are able to pour into it with curiosity and this posture of humility, the more you will get out of the program. And so utilizing this time as this remarkable opportunity to learn from some of the brightest scholars in our field, I would really just use this time to be a sponge and learn and soak up as much as you can. And then the other thing that whenever, for each of my classes, I always start the semester inviting my students to create a self-care plan. That would probably be one of the biggest pieces of advice that I would offer to those who are considering social work or who are currently enrolled in our program. Creating some kind of self-care plan, which again is not just mani-pedis and bubble baths, but really and truly making sure that you are getting enough sleep each night, making sure that you are paying attention to, the things that you consume, whether that's digitally or food or drink, making sure you're drinking enough water, moving your body in whatever way you can throughout the day. I give a long list of thoughts, recommendations, but really practicing self-care, because you are worth taking care of yourself in all of the ways that we are training you to care for others. But also because, you cannot draw water from an empty well. And so if you are continuing to pour out, but not refilling, I really, really want our students to be taking care of themselves because they do have that inherent worth. In the same way that we talk in social work about our clients having inherent worth and dignity, the same is true for our students. And so practicing that self-care now before you're graduated is really important.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Oxhandler. Really appreciate the time and the very thoughtful words, and your heartfelt love for the Garland School is so felt in this time together, but also just your passion, your excellence, and of the work that you're doing here when it comes to forwarding research around social work practice is so important to a field that helps so many people on a macro, meso, and micro level. So thank you so much for your contribution. We're looking forward to more opportunities to get to know you here at the Garland School of Social Work. Thanks for taking the time.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having me, Curtis. It was a pleasure to get to be here with you. Thank you.
I enjoyed our conversation together. Holly's work at the intersection of faith and mental health is so important. I love how she integrates research into real-world social work practice.
Yeah, in the way she talked about self-care and seeing the sacred within yourself, it's such a refreshing and needed perspective, especially in the helping professions.
Her passion for mentorship and equipping students with research opportunities just shows how much she cares about the next generation of social workers.
Yeah, and I also really liked her advice to approach this work with curiosity and humility. That's a mindset that can benefit not just students, but anyone working in any sort of social service setting.
This conversation was such a great reminder of the depth and impact of social work research. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We'll see you next time on the Connecting with Care podcast.